Hey everybody, it's Jack. Welcome back to the channel. So at the end of last video, I specified that I would make another video in which I talked about my progress over the last few months in the gym, both in terms of training and eating and all that sort. I intended to put this video out sooner. As I'm sure you recall, if you watched that one, I said that I'd do it within a few days following that one, but obviously that time has passed. It's more like 5 or 6 days following, but I had a bunch of other things to catch up on. So, in terms of my goals over the last couple of months, not couple, but like, the window of time that we're talking about is from July of last summer to November, which is right now. So, last summer, I decided that I wanted to hire a coach and prepare myself for a bodybuilding competition or a photo shoot, or both, for the fall of next year. Now, I was already someone who was pretty experienced in gym going. I'd been training for about 3 years at that point in time. I already knew a good deal about how to train properly, what types of things I should eat at every meal in order to see progress or just to like optimize the results that I was looking for. But I really wanted to take it a step further because I heard that a lot of people who have coaches tend to make progress much faster than those who don't, obviously, because the thing that's really good about coaches is it's an outside perspective that can look inward at you as their client and see what things you need to improve on, or really just sort of nudge you in the right direction. And it's also just a complete time save for someone to do all of the planning for you. So I met this guy, my coach. His name is Brandon. I was running an Instagram page during the quarantine depression of early 2020, and my page, like this YouTube channel, was based around fitness sort of stuff, so I was regularly commenting with and following people who do weightlifting, bodybuilding, all that sort of stuff on Instagram. I was engaged in this small community, so I came across his page, and I was just dropping comments on everyone's stuff just to try and like build the outreach that I had, and I commented on his stuff just because I wasn't really looking for a coach, and he came into my DMs and he was like,
Hey you! Whippy, 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 ooh, I'm a little peanut worm. Are you too much of a whip to work out? Are you a weakling? Built like a sponge? Well, now you too can have muscles.
Huh?
Are there any goals in particular that you're looking to work on? Like, are you in need of a coach right now? Because I'd be happy to offer my services to you. And at the time he said this, I really hadn't thought much about it. So it didn't, I didn't pick up work with him until about, maybe like a couple months after that was when I decided, like, you know what, it'd be really cool if I just went all in, because this is something I really enjoy. And that was kind of history. So from that point forward, of course I had a call with him. I wanted to meet him first before I engaged in any sort of deal with him or started paying him monthly, and that's something I highly recommend you do if you invest in a coach. I mean, should you invest in a coach? Absolutely. I think, listen, it's kind of tough for college students because I'm an exception where I'm going part-time and I live at home, so I don't have to worry about a whole ton of expenses. And I was able to work part-time for most of the summer to save up money for this. So I think if you have the capability to pay that expense and you want to achieve some sort of goal in health and fitness, absolutely hire a coach, 100%. And of course, I just wanted to make sure that I was talking to him just to ensure that it would be a good chemistry between the two of us, and it absolutely was. We kind of hit it off, and it went from there. So what my training has been like over the past few months, I came to Brandon, my coach, with the goal of bulking up and putting on muscle. That was something that's typically hard for me because I've always been, at least in the past few years, I was always a leaner individual. When I was a kid, I was a little chubby, but when I grew up, I got that growth spurt, I was much taller, and I was kind of, not like stick thin, but maybe like a little skinny fat, and I've always had trouble putting on muscle, it seemed like, at least at a pace that would be reasonable if you know what I mean. So the way that my coach has programmed these workouts, right, is I go in 4 days a week. 2 of those days are upper body sessions and 2 of them are lower body sessions. Now for me, the focus is on bodybuilding, which means more or less I'm just trying to have a physique that looks nice more than I am strength building. Now of course strength building goes, like you have to account for that as well, because increasing the weight is going to increase the amount of muscle mass you have. But the way this program is structured, for someone like me who wants to improve their physique, is it's 4 days a week, upper, lower, 2 upper body, 2 lower body, because the volume is important. The amount of work that you put in any given week is very important. You want to do a 2 times per week frequency on any muscle group that you're training for efficient results. The basic premise of these workouts is from session to session, if you're like me and you want to bulk up, what you have to do is make sure that you're just pushing for higher numbers every time. It could be more reps, more weight. It could be a higher quality of the reps you're doing. Like, how is your form on a certain exercise that you're performing? These things have to go up, and you have to fight for them to go up every session, which can really be kind of difficult. I'd say it's more of a mental battle than it is a physical battle half the time. Because guys, like really, okay, when it comes down to it, bulking up on paper is really quite simple. Because all it is you make sure that you hit your meals every day, like you get the amount of calories that you need to promote growth, and you just go and get your sessions in and you fight for more reps every time. That seems really easy on paper, but more or less it's a mental battle, because I'll just have like leg days where I'm not even like halfway through the workout yet and I feel like I'm gonna barf. I don't know what it is about leg days. I don't know if it's just that my coach, like, he just programmed them to be dastardly. I've come to the conclusion that, listen guys, if you enjoy leg days, you're not doing them right, alright? They're supposed to just, like, I don't...
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
So that's that in regards to training, basically. It's just go in, get the job done, rinse and repeat, try and do it better every single time. In terms of food, I thought a lot of you might be... I don't know if the word is discouraged by last video, because calculating calories can be a little bit tricky when it comes to just managing daily activity. Because not everyone necessarily has access to, I guess the resources to do it, or just to have the resolve to track it day in and day out. And I can totally agree with that, but okay, here's the thing that I did. I watched a video, it might have been like Zach Perna or someone, and he had this video, it was called Bulking on a Budget, and he just went over typical foods that you can get rather cheaply, that are healthy, that you can just... Okay, so like what I do, I just eat the same 4 things every single day.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
That might be boring for some, but it works for me, and I don't have the mental stress of having to track every single thing that I eat. And that's paramount, because like, I know that I'm getting the amount of food that I need, and I don't have to think about doing it, because I just know that what I'm eating is X amount of calories, and if coach is like, you gotta go up this week in the amount of food you eat, I can just adjust and just keep doing that same thing. And the thing about calorie counting, if you're a beginner, I highly recommend you start off by tracking your food. Not as a means of punishment, because like a lot of people think that, you know, it's like calorie counting will lead to some sort of eating disorder or whatever. I disagree, in the sense that, like, listen, it's not something that you might want to be doing your entire life, but if you count calories and you count macros for your food for like X amount of time, you start to learn the breakdowns of a lot of different things, to the point where you can look at a plate of something and be like, it's probably X amount of calories, X amount of macros. Like, you look at it and you know. Versus someone who starts off a program like this based on intuitive eating, and like you really have no sense of relativity in terms of what it is you're putting on a plate. Because there will be days where I'm like, man, I really don't feel like eating chicken and potatoes or whatever it is. And, like, I'm at home, so, like, my mom could be cooking something else. And I can look at that meal and say, like, this is pretty equivalent to X thing that I already eat in my meal plan. So I can just swap those out any given day, and it doesn't make too much difference at all, if that makes any sense. So that's the basis of training and eating for me. I mean, just my recommendation for anybody is just keep it as simple as possible. Be strategic. You don't have to spend a lot of money. It really isn't too difficult if you have a system in place that works for you to get the job done. That's the hardest part. Because like my coach has everything written out for me. It's just my responsibility to go and do it. And it's all a mindset game. So for all that I've done, I'm gonna put up on screen, these are my results from July of last summer to about mid-November, so like a couple weeks ago, I think. And as you can see, the work that I put in, I mean, at least I think it's certainly paid off. From July to November, you could, there's just like, it's just density. Like you can see, especially in my shoulders and like legs and just back, especially in chest, I'm just like thick.
Damn, boy, he's thick! Boy, that's a thick-ass boy! Damn!
And all it came down to, guys, was just rinse and repeat. If it helps you at all to know, for me, it's just training, eating, and sleeping. The only supplements that I take are like, I do a multivitamin and fish oil every day. Whey, like protein, goes in my oatmeal every morning, but I don't do creatine, I don't do branched chain amino acids. And especially if you're a beginner, you really don't have to worry about that sort of thing. Even someone like midline, like, I feel like there comes a point where supplements are for like really advanced level results, but the bulk of it, the base of your pyramid, is just going to be resting, eating, training. That's really all it comes down to. Because the difference between these two photos, I gained about 7 or 8 pounds between July and November. Now, obviously, not all of it is lean mass, because that's not how bulking works, right? Some of that is going to be fat that I will, of course, shred off later when it comes down to the photo shoot or the stage competition at the end of next year. But, I mean, all in all, I'm very proud of what I've accomplished over the last few months. My coach seems to be very pleased as well. Really, a message to you guys, anyone who wants to try and do something like this, really, it's just patience, discipline, time. That's all it takes. If you can stick to a program for X amount of time and do it well, you're gonna see the results you want. Like, there's no question about that. That about wraps up the video. Again, I just wanted to come on here real quick because maybe something that I said in this video could be motivational to someone else, or maybe you can pick up something I said in this video to use for your own programming. As always, if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments down below. Whether it's just like ways that I approach things or just general questions about training or nutrition. I've done plenty of work in the last few months with a certified professional, so again, I myself am not that professional, but it could be something simple that I might be able to share with you guys that could make a huge difference. So yeah, please do ask questions. If you liked this video, please drop a like, share it with a friend. Subscribe for more like this. I make videos every single week. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Jacked Rose. Have a blessed weekend, guys. Peace out.